All right, come on in, Republican Senator from the state of South Dakota, Mike Rounds, joining us live here on the Hill. Senator, Friday afternoon, 6:30 here on the East Coast. We appreciate you sticking around and joining us. You've been listening to some of that, I'm sure. Tom Tillis, your colleague, Republican, North Carolina, said it is, quote, it's reported that he said, quote, it is immoral for me to think that you look the other way because you think this is the linchpin for President Trump to win. Do you agree with your Republican colleague that what's going on is, quote unquote, immoral?
The discussion that you're talking about was taking place in our conference discussion, and it was a lot more civil than the discussion that you guys are having right now. But it was a lot of us talking about the path forward. And we really do believe that the security at the southern border is definitely broken. We understand that there's politics involved in it. But the bottom line is right now, before an election, with 302,000 people coming across the border in December, it's very clear that we need to do something. When we go back home and we talk to the folks back there, one of the first things they say is, what's wrong with you people?
You need
Why
to do
don't you
something?
Fix this?
Yeah, I hear you, and I hear members of the Senate and the House all the time say they go back home, and those are the things that they hear. But if you say that we need to fix the border, are Donald Trump and the House Speaker in the wrong for saying that what's being negotiated is dead on arrival?
Look, if you listen to what the Speaker said, and I happen to, at least we've been told anyway, that he has had a number of discussions with folks that are in the negotiations. And look, I think the thing that we're supposed to do is to do the best job we can at addressing two major issues, parole and asylum. Those are both areas that if correctly addressed, we can reduce significantly the number of individuals that will ever even come to the border in the first place. And the cartels will not be able to tell them that if I can get you to the border, all you got to do is walk in and ask for a plane ticket to someplace in America and you'll get a court date 7 years later. So what we're trying to do is address the problem itself. It's also the same kind of stuff that the previous administration wanted to be able to utilize, because Title 42, which is what they used to stop a lot of it, can't be used right now because we're not in the middle of a pandemic. So we want to give the next administration these tools. At the same time, we had 302,000 people coming across in December. We can't put up 300,000 people during the entire 2024 time period and expect to be able to go home and say, we're really working hard at getting something done. We definitely want to make sure, look, we haven't seen the final recommendations, so we're going to hold our judgment until we actually see them. But I can just tell you this much, it would be a mistake on our part if we didn't do the best we could to fix this problem long-term for our country. So in this particular case, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of heat until such time as the American people actually get a chance to see what we're trying to get done. And then I'm prepared to, if I vote for it, I'll go home and defend it.
Okay. Speaking of voting, you have not endorsed Donald Trump yet. You ready to do that?
Not yet. Look, I thought that Tim Scott was the right guy for the job. I thought he was one of these guys that really brought back in that sense of trust, that sense of listening to other people, working together, bringing together a team. And I thought he'd be the right guy for the job. I told him the other day, I said, I'm really sorry, Tim, that you're not still in the race. But he was my choice on it, and there were a couple of us that felt that way on it. In the meantime, there's a long ways to go in this election process, and I can hold my powder dry. And besides that, I'm not sure anybody around the country really listens to exactly who the members of the United States Senate are recommending to them.
Fair enough. But let me ask you this. The governor from your state, Kristi Noem, being talked about as a potential vice presidential candidate for Donald Trump. You say folks don't listen to what, senators endorse or don't endorse, but you know Kristi Noem fairly well, Senator. Do you think she has what it takes to potentially be the next vice president of the United States?
It's not a matter of what I think. It's what does the presumptive nominee think? And in this particular case, we know there are two items that he deeply cares about. Number one, is that person going to be absolutely loyal to him, period? And number two, do they look the part? Would they make the casting screen? And you know what? She's got a lot going for her.
Okay, got to leave it there. Senator Rounds, again, we appreciate the time, sir. Have a great weekend, and we hope to talk to you soon.
All right, you bet.
Thanks. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.